Just gonna kind of sit there. Just gonna take a nice breather for a bit. Hold the nail. Are we the good guys?
Now we finally get to reap what we sow.
Yeah.
Cort's just gonna fucking sit there for a few hours, maybe. He's gonna fucking come back down to reality. Don't mind him. I'm gonna make sure that I'm out of the way of the carts, and he's just gonna kind of sit there, just kind of reflecting on what the fuck just happened.
Yeah. Let's take a brief moment to get something to drink, run to the bathroom. I'm going to give the floor open to all of you guys so you can talk still. To everybody that's here. So...
God damn it, Sniper.
Have fun. I'll be right back, okay?
Putting up the away screen.
Oh, okay.
No, I just get to step away and smoke, so
There
I'll
you
be
go.
back.
Sniper, I can't fucking believe I'm paying for your sins.
No, you know, I'm apparently going to be paying for them, but yeah.
This nail is Jacob's doorknob.
Apparently, I fucking killed the grandson of Walter.
That's your fault.
Walter White?
No, Walter from Helsing.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Walter White.
Definitely Walter White.
Doesn't he have like magical tide powers?
Yeah, definitely.
Y'all can eat my dick.
Or we could not.
It's too
Is
small.
it spotted dick?
I just got put into the time break.
Okay, yeah, to put it into perspective, what happened with this kid was when the fires were going on, Sniper or Jacob heard a family in shambles that was inside a house that was burning down. When he went in, the man that Cort was just talking to was trying to save, I thought it was his daughter, maybe his granddaughter, he's an older guy, from underneath of a beam that had fell on her. And Jacob saw that the daughter was already dead when he tried to save her. Like, it was too late. So he ushered them outside and then tried to move the beam so that if the house did collapse, the kid and father weren't inside. And the kid tried to run back in, and he moved his arm back to try and stop him. So he hit him in the chest while this kid was at full sprint with the back of his hand. And it was enough to cause his lung to collapse. And so as the father took care of his son, he went inside and tried to get the daughter out. He was able to get her out, but she was already dead. Brought her outside and back to the father. And then he saw that the kid was unconscious, where he had been conscious prior. And decided that the best way to go about fixing it was to diagnose and try and heal the problem himself. And so he cut open just below the ribs and tried to see what was wrong inside. And he figured out that his lung was collapsed, and he tried to inflate it, but just wasn't quick enough. And the kid passed away.
God damn it, Sniper!
It's not Jacob's fault the kid was weak.
Yeah, not his fault that he couldn't take a backhand to the chest. Oh, I just explained the story behind the man that we just met, Sniper.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would have done in the situation, just happened to be that it went that way.
I would have looked down at him and said, suck less, and then walked away.
If your kid was as strong as you were, he wouldn't have died.
Yeah.
And then you just smack him in the chest to kill him, just to spite him, and then cut him open and grab his heart, and then eat it.
No, what this says is next time, let the motherfucker burn.
No, can you stop killing people's kids?
Yeah, if you're gonna kill the
He
kids,
didn't kill anyone's kids. The dragon did.
yeah, I guess that's fair. But Sasha doesn't give a fuck.
I mean, the fire
had
didn't
he
kill
never-
the kid.
Had he had never shown up, then they would have died anyway. So why does it even fucking matter? I'd be like, you're holding a grudge against the fucking essentially inevitable situation.
Oh,
you are
next.
You either weren't strong enough, or you're upset that someone else tried to do your work, and yeah, they couldn't do it as
You
well.
should ask them how I went ahead and punched one of the guards and froze his lungs solid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, how'd you try to hold back?
That's what happens when you freezing. What is it? What's the spell called? Some kind of freezing. It's
Freezing
freezing
touch.
grasp. Freezing grasp. It's like shocking grasp,
No.
but not shocking.
No, I just went ahead and did a pool strike with my fist and pumped him full of cold energy and apparently, blew his lungs up.
Yeah, you shattered his lungs.
I feel like putting you in jail should have stopped how many people you've killed, and yet it seems to only increase the number.
That's what I... Just be like, let it go.
Good time to freeze.
Yeah.
You froze for a second there, and your face was great, brother.
Again, of course.
Really beginning to regret giving my life up for you. Even motherfucker.
You tried to do it the first time, and it didn't work, and then you did it a second time, and you finally gave your life. You would have been... You know how sad, how much of a depression you would have sent him into if you sacrificed your life twice and still came back for his life where he was doomed to die?
I tried. I tried. After killing this kid, I literally tried turning myself in. And you know what happened? I got a job.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he has this weird...
Maybe you'll stop killing people now that you're actually in the guard.
You think that'll stop him? That's good.
No, now he can't be punished for it. Wow.
The number's only going up from here.
It was in the line of duty.
He got in my way of a criminal who was worse than anyone else.
Look, he's about to pull into the double digits. Now that he's commander, he has to pull into the triple digits next. So he has a long way to go.
He just looks at the buddy, but why did you cut it 75 times? It's what was needed to be done.
Yeah.
It's
It
got
was the
tentacle
line of
marks.
duty.
Why'd you cut it 75 times? Simple. Shutting.
Self-defense.
I wanted to see how many I could get out before he died.
Every
This
time
didn't
I
have
try and do something good,
Why is
somebody
there this,
dies.
Why is there a small 12-year-old with a dagger? He was... it says
Just
that he
be a
was...
bad
He had
guy.
a few reports of being a pickpocket. Why is he missing his arm and his leg now?
You can't pick pockets with one leg and one arm.
He can't run away now. What did you want from me?
If you think he won't figure out a way to pickpockets with one leg and one arm, you're sadly mistaken.
He's just
Well, I
gonna
guess
be
it
really...
It depends. Did he
really
take
nimble.
the left leg and the left arm, or like the left leg and the right arm? Is he like uneven?
That is exactly what I expect to happen sometime, Eldritch. He's going to like fold up a paper airplane and just kind of like casually set it out, and somehow or another, it's going to impale 5 children and blow up an orphanage.
We should just put you in a straitjacket.
Don't blow up the orphanage. Go inside and jump on all the beds.
Yeah, nothing could go wrong.
Don't
I don't
make
see
sure
how
there's
anything-
kids inside
yeah.
before you jump on the bed. So just
Look,
jump
as long,
straight up.
as long as you can give them healing magic later in the form of glitter, everything works out.
That's right. Glitter dust their faces.
Search me.
All right. What did I miss?
I explained the story behind this man,
Oh,
and then we were talking about glitter dust.
And then we explained how Sniper's new position is going to lead him into more death rather than away from it.
I see how WTF is this? Critical Role? This is some heavy shit here. Well, with great responsibility.
I'm glad you managed to
some shit.
fucking piss off Vlad Tepes, so have fun with that. Have fun with him fucking putting you on a cross in front of his like new house that he's going to have to build because you didn't save the burning one.
That was the guy from Helsing, right?
Yeah, well, Walter. Walter's
Walter the butler. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first thing I fucking thought of when I saw the threads, too. I was like, this motherfucker.
Is this
There-
an NPC put in by a patron?
No, this is an
Okay,
entirely original idea, and well, he's kind of a badass.
He's better Zillion.
It's Walter. You go watch Helsing, you anti-weeb.
No,
You're Schrodinger's weeb.
no. I like weeb culture, not anime.
Why did I cut it 75 times? Have you ever heard
It
of
was-
a Tootsie
it was-
Pop?
Oh,
What?
oh.
That was in regards to what we were talking about.
Yeah. He said he
at
doesn't
that point, they're all
intentionally kill
taunting
people.
me for the fact that no matter what I do, I somehow kill somebody.
We're saying how he's going to kill someone in the name of justice, and it's going to be, why did this body have 75 stab wounds? Look, it was self-defense, honestly. He came at me. It's going to be like, Jacob, can't do that.
Sure done.
But look, he had a dagger on him.
Anything more than 12 just seems a little excessive, I think.
Have you ever had a Tootsie Pop?
Yeah, but I've never fucking stabbed someone for it 75 times.
No. Sometimes that's what it takes.
What
would
would
you
What
do
would you
for a Klondike
do
bar?
for a Klondike bar?
Good lord.
Would you stab a man 75 times?
Look, this voice in my head told me to do it and said it was the right thing to do. So
Oh, no.
I did.
Look, I come from a broken home, okay?
Why does Jacob have power issues? I mean, Jacob has some issues. Well, he has a lot of issues. Let's not say some. He has a lot of issues.
I
It's
have
hard
a
to put
ton
it's hard to
of
put a
issues.
singular label on it.
Honestly, he's just got, like, it all stems from parenting.
Yeah.
I
daddy
started
issues.
off as just like this ignoble, roguish tiefling,
Somebody broke
Sword
out the
casting-
thesaurus before today.
sword fighter. And somehow or another, I ended up being the son of a Glabrizu demon general. It turned out that it was my destiny to go ahead and
Bring about
bring
the
a
apocalypse.
plane of heaven into hell.
Yeah.
Clash them together, because why not?
Was it Destiny?
Yeah. Going by the way he was talking about it, your role in this life was to do.
I mean, he
exactly
says
what you
Destiny,
wanted.
but he kind of just leads us there. Kind of a dick. If anything, he was probably the dude who sent us to hell in the first place.
To be fair, they are working together.
Yeah.
What if this entire time it's the deity that you guys freed in the
Oh,
dungeon
Adamarcus?
the first 15 sessions of the game?
Yeah, Adamarcus.
Wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't at all. Because Adamarcus has been interwoven out of this. It's not just...
No, he's not.
No? He hasn't come up before?
Bro
I'm pretty
is-
sure he has.
He's playing big games. He's definitely playing big games. But it ain't here. It ain't here. The synopsis is wherever he
Okay.
goes, shit goes down. It's bad.
That wouldn't be hard to explain our fucking existence every other fucking day.
If you tell me that I have to go ahead and blame a god for this, I will hunt down that god and fail miserably.
You're gonna have to take a little while.
Well,
Oh, hunt down that god and grovel at
we're-
his feet.
yeah.
Look, people thought we've competed
Please
for
stop
Critical Role.
fucking
We're
me.
actually competing for One Piece length.
I'd like to,
we have enough for like 900 episodes.
We got 12 years to go.
Fucking
I'd
the
like
revolver
to.
now.
I'd like to swap deities once we do finally meet this man, and just say, hey, make me your champion instead of that silly Rejoss, and I'll slay all these guys like I did
Oh,
in the
God.
previous party.
Yo, look, I'll be your champion. Just toss me a few beers before, eh?
Go hoot and a boot all together, eh?
Look, just promise me I can go out there for a rip, and then I'll take care of these guys for you, bud.
I'll take these guys out for a rip there, bud.
Asks for
Just
beer.
go ahead and give me a 12-pack of Molson, and we'll be good to go.
Each one of them will get fucked.
Or if you want to go real hardcore, give me some Gus and Brew.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah. I'm Canadian,
And
Freddie.
this is why.
And he's the one that's excused here.
Yeah, thank you for the bits.
That's revelations.
And this is why we don't have the following of Critical Role.
Much appreciated, 12. Much appreciated, buddy. Yeah, guys, right now, if you wish to give bits whatsoever and you actually use the bleed purple emote as your bit alert, I get 10% more bits on Twitch. Big Papa Bezos hooks a boy up with 10% more, so consider it. So, we've seen some things happen now with Thelsa and with Cort. Still, the party is separated.
As always.
As
rule.
always. Yeah.
First rule, separate the party.
You guys might actually get a lot more done if you ever came together and decided to separate your differences.
No.
What have I said all this time? Never split the party.
It's like I always say, split the party.
I can't worry about your petty quarrels right now. I need to go deal with some bigger, like self-improvement.
I just can't wait till Jacob gets back to the city and he's like, Cort, I found your surrogate father. And
Hey,
Cort's just
Jacob,
like,
guess what I found?
yeah,
guy who
Jacob,
wants to fucking
I found the
pick
guy
you
who
up
wants
on a
to
cross.
kill you, and he's gonna fuck you
Yeah.
up.
Hey, you see the snail? He wants to kill you with this in particular.
He said that if he doesn't kill you with this, he's gonna kill you with his teacup.
Yeah, so me and my master, we're gonna go to the bar. You guys should hook up a play day with yourselves too. Catch you later.
Goodness gracious. So I have Rahk, I have Jakob, and I have Ulhime. Who would like to go on their adventure next?
Jacob.
Nah.
Or
I
Rahk.
like how you keep electing other people to do it. Cort.
He wants to be last.
I wait on to be like, can you dig it? Like I feel like it's coming.
No. One of them.
Don't
No,
also-
I say we go ahead and finish the city stuff up, and then I'll go ahead and, as the only character not in the city, make my way back.
Okay, that
So
makes
at least
sense.
I'll have an idea as to all the fuck ups I'm about to see.
Sure. All right, that makes sense. Then let's go with Rahk. Rahk,
Hello.
you have some things that you'd like to try to do, like gather the public understanding or the public image of the Bumbles. Who are you going to see? You just going to approach random people? Or are you going to find bar owners, nobility, laborers? What does this look like?
All of the above.
Okay.
It's like a grassroots campaign, in that you start with like the blue collar workers and then work your way up from there.
Okay, then who fits the bill first? Anyone in particular?
Likely whoever's left out of the lower rings of the town. I would imagine most of them are not in their homes and are properly displaced at this point. So wherever I can find the largest congregation of poor-looking people.
Okay, let's actually find out where they fall here. According to this, that is not protected. What are you? The largest gathering. Okay. I think I might have it. The largest gathering of remaining individuals.
It's a catchy tune.
Lakeside Pavilion. Lakeside Pavilion is number 20 on the map. And I will ping this for you. Lakeside Pavilion.
Alright.
The landing pad style building. So you wanted to find the largest gathering of those that are without, the poorest. Do you ask around for this information, or do you just follow your nose?
Probably going to approach this with at least a little bit of tact, or what I surmise to be tact. The people that are, weeping over what they've lost and seem to be generally distraught, I'm going to try to avoid. But those that seem to be, in decent enough spirits, I'll try to strike a conversation up with.
Okay, sure. You find a few folks that seem to be minding their way. Some of them seem to be a bit more distraught, far-flung from happiness. You'll find a few folks that also seem to be carrying what may be left of their personal belongings. They seem to stay to the opposite side of the street, and they don't really make eye contact with you. But they don't mind walking by you as far as you can tell. You gotta remember, the recent guard was primarily half-orc. They didn't exactly have a solid reputation with the town. Do you approach these people?
Likely not.
Okay.
I think I'll keep my head down and keep moving.
All right. You find a lot of other people that seem to fit this look in the area, but they all seem to be moving in the same direction. A very slow-moving river. A creek, if you will. And you just follow the flow of it. Inevitably, you'll find one of the remaining guards. A man. Human male. He recognizes you, as he was one of the few that were actually left remaining on the battlefield with the mayor and everybody else gathered. He sees you and nods. Doesn't really say much, though. You keep moving? Do you speak to him?
I'll probably stop and speak to him briefly.
All right.
Hello there.
Hail.
How are things coming along?
We thought they'd be much worse in the lower lungs, but everyone's just trying to piece together their lives.
It's just about all they can do, I suppose. I have a question for you, and I understand that it may be somewhat off topic, but I feel it's important.
He nods.
What is your take on this group of sellswords, I suppose you might call them? You know, the ones, I'm assuming they always seem to be making trouble. Currently residing in the bathhouse.
There's this long, this sucking noise, I am aware. A lot causes a lot of trouble. Not without some good. We can't be all bad, right? There's some good with bad, but I make very many friends. They tend to act outside of the law a bit. I'm afraid, though, I can't really do anything about it. It's never very good with the blade. I wouldn't dare fight someone with magic either.
So, do you see them as sort of having the run of the town, or?
When I think of them, I think about being a kid on the farm outside of town and seeing the flock and watching wolves. Wolves come in to pick those off the weakest, or those that stood out the most. There wasn't much my father could do about it, but inevitably he hired someone. Brought someone in that could deal with the wolves. And there was some strange happenings in the town, and I think sooner before later, someone will hire some poacher or hunter to take care of these wolves. But I'm afraid that not all the good that they've done has been very visible. not very good at the common courtesies. They don't speak to the town folk. Ain't much to them, really. They just... I don't know, they sort of act like celebrity. They walk around all high and mighty. Slay a couple of creatures and suddenly they think the world is theirs. Like a favour is owed to them. I don't know what all they've done. I've not seen all of it myself. But I did watch one of them ride the back of a gigantic worm made of steel. I did watch another one of them stand toe-to-toe with the biggest beast I've ever seen. So large it broke a building. Killed a poor man's daughter. He was very upset about that for a while. But they didn't seem to care. They didn't care if someone died. And I don't know if that's part of the lifestyle or not, but seems rather heartless, a little cold. At least they stopped the creature, right? No one else died.
It seems they do get the job done, if not messily.
Why do you ask? I'm curious.
I'm new around these parts and trying to get a feel for everything. Trying to see where my time would be best spent, I suppose. And frankly, I've found myself attracted to their suppose you'd say duties.
Well, they are a wily lot, and they seem to take on the biggest and the baddest, but for your sake, new or not, you should be wary. Those in the higher ups of town, those that run this town. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought other hunters in to pass the wolves.
Perhaps I best let the fight play itself out. See what remains after the fact.
If I had to choose a side, I wouldn't know where to stand, to be honest. I wouldn't want to fight them. But I also wouldn't stand to fight those that run the town. There's bound to be blood. And I have a family. 2 daughters. I'd sooner leave if it looked that bad. But I live here most of my life. I hope I wouldn't have to leave, and I still stand to fight for the guard. Thank you, by the way. You should consider coming to the guard. You did such a... Well, you were a torrent, as my mother would say on the battlefield. It was a bit of a fever dream watching you. You're very talented with that slag of steel behind you.
Well, I appreciate the consideration. I'll certainly think about it. But for now, I believe my talents are best employed elsewhere.
Well, we're not exactly shy of the work if you happen to need some. Good luck.
Thank you. I'm sure I'll be seeing you.
He nods.
Alright, I will continue to progress towards the sort of amassing of townfolk.
Sure. You follow for a while before you see that the poor have begun to move onto a fairly large stone cathedral. It's a beautiful building. And it appears that at least half of it is twice the size of most of the rest of the building. Don't really know much about the inside, however. There are many doors, and they're open. When you step inside, it appears to be what looks like theater seating all the way down. And you can see rows upon rows of civilians. The poor. resting inside of Lakeside Pavilion. It's a large stone auditorium of sorts. You don't really see anybody that sticks out. They all seem without, bereft of happiness and material possessions.
It's really hard to strike up a conversation with people who have just lost everything. So I'll probably make my way through the crowd, see if there's anyone that seems to be a little bit more chatty than others. Somebody who would be willing to open up, or at least appears to be that way.
Okay. Give me a 10% range.
21 to 30.
Very close. Give me a 25% range.
26 to 50.
Okay. And a 50-50.
Hi.
God. Tonight's not your night, my friend. Remember, you've got 2 luck rolls.
Why not? Yeah, let's roll it again.
Okay. High or low?
I want to say low, but then I know it's going to fuck me, so let's go high again.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. You do happen to see someone that appears to be at least neutral. They don't seem so incredibly downtrodden by the world around them. And it is a woman. A woman that we've already met tonight. She seems to be offering time to those, and right now she is braiding a little girl's hair to match the braid that drapes over her shoulder. She wears robes, red, twisted with brown and black stripes.
Hello. I don't believe we've met.
Hello there, we have not. Give me just a moment. And
absolutely.
She leans in and she finishes this braid. Her fingers are this amalgamation of over end over end. The whole while she's got a bit of braid in her mouth that she seems to just be like tucking and turning several times over before that single braid that she was holding on to, weaving down the center, she splits and then she makes a small tie around it, letting it drape down waterfall style over her shoulder. The little girl breaks a smile for the first time. Lips dusty and dirty. Some cracks in them. Seems to be this like pitch of highlight red. She says, thank you. And the woman touches her head and she goes on. She stands from this half sitting, like almost like she was sitting on one knee kind of position with the other leg twisted around. And as she stands, she kind of dusts herself off. What is it I can help you with?
I actually was hoping for a little conversation, as odd as that may seem.
Well, nobody else immediately needs my help. How can I help you?
I'm new to town, you see, and I'm trying to get a feel for things around here. I've heard some negative things in regard to the group that resides in the bathhouse, and I've heard some negative things about the people who run this town, and I need to know which is more true, or who I should believe, I suppose.
Well, what are you hoping me to say? That they are villains or heroes?
Not so much black and white definition as the commoners' take on their deeds, on their efforts.
Very well, I can tell you the commoners' take. The commoners think that... it depends, really. It varies per the regular. The people of this town have varied opinions of them. Some of them are nicer than others. And they sure are a rowdy lot, wouldn't you say?
That much I can certainly agree to.
One of them looks to be a bit nightmarish. Two of them, actually.
They
Three of
have
them.
their own.
They all look very nightmarish. Except the boy. He does not fit in. One of these things is not like the other. They've done good in this town, if that's what you wish to know. Some of the people are thankful for them. Some of the others hate them. But I'm sure that it's mostly 50-50. And inevitably that's going to happen anyway, right? You will find that there are people that are happy that they're here because they stopped many other deaths. You will find that people are angry that they're here because they think that these creatures were attracted here from them in the first place. Are they the cause or the effect? I don't know. I know that they don't care for those that run and shape the city. It's not as easy as one would expect. The nobles, well, they climb to their positions, and they've retained them very well. Rather cushy. I think that the wheat has been separated from the chaff. That the cream always rises to the top. I'm not friends with any nobles, but they make hard decisions. Decisions that will leave some men hurting. And their pockets are lined for their hard work. They're in a very challenging situation. I think they do as they must, as these men and women do as they must. A necessary evil. Every town has them. They just happen to play in a much larger league, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Do I like them personally? I'm indifferent. Have I met them personally? Some of them I have. Some of them I have more relations with than others. Most curious, though, one of them is perturbing. I don't quite have a beat on him yet. He calls himself Ulhime. He moves as if he's some sort of force of benevolence. He claims to be doing what is right for the people. Yet this came in today. And she shoulders a bag and removes what looks to be some kind of parchment. You can read, can you?
Yes.
She passes it off over to you, and it is a declaration. A declaration for taxation. It has been written as Helm's Tax. Levied by the powers of the town in an effort to restore Cauldron to its good graces. To help those around. It seems that a key individual is noted as establishing this tax. Signed by Lord Mayor Sever Navilant. Written or established by Ulhime Shieldbearer. The people are not very happy about this.
Wouldn't be very happy about being asked for more when I had just lost everything either. I certainly understand their position.
What do they do? What would you do if everything you owned was lost? And then, as you've lost everything, some of you, some of them, More than just family. Their homes, their pets, their life savings, everything they've worked for. And now those nobles that line their pockets. They need more money? They need more coin. The coffers run dry suddenly? Where did it all go? I imagine if there hadn't been a fire, that they may riot. Again. But their spirits are broken. And it's more than just disgust. Some of them, I don't know if they'll ever come out of it.
Perhaps they just need the right incentive.
Who looks out for them, then? Who stops them? Who enforces the tax? The guard's gone. She pauses for a moment, and then a smirk upturns in the corner of her mouth. But then again, maybe they've been working on long together for longer than we've known. Maybe they've been allied, and those that run this town have hired the men themselves. Wouldn't that be uncanny? The one they call
Do you
Jakob?
personally believe that to be true?
The one they call Jakob now works for the guard captain. Doesn't seem at least a little fishy. Something smells about it.
I suppose so.
Those that can do. And those that can't will set fire to that around them, so that they can start over anew. These people are on desperate times, and you know what they say about desperate times.
I understand. Your insight has been more than valuable.
You can often see me helping the lower class, as I came from them. She extends her hand. My name is Fables.
I'll take it and shake it once. I'm Rahk.
And as firm as one you are, look at you. Stout. Have you come to offer your services here?
To some degree.
Well, if you aren't busy, the children are a bit pent up, and they need someone to play with.
I believe I can handle that.
Well, good. Take off your things. Not your clothes, your armor and your weapons. I'll call them forward. They need something to relieve their stress. You can be a bit of a monkey bar, yes, a jungle gym of sorts.
Most definitely.
Good.
I'll begin removing armor and my weapon.
She just looks at the hammer. May I?
If you think you can.
She leans to pick up this extended Mjolnir, and she just starts tugging, and she's just moving it around. Like it's
These
just
clips are gonna have to end up on Pornhub.
it's just spinning, right? Like the head of the hammer is on the ground, but the arm itself is just kind of spinning with her. This isn't a good weapon.
As she struggles with it, I'll pick it up with one hand and sort of twirl it around.
That's unnecessary. Now you're just bragging.
I have to get it in where I can.
Children! Come! A few of them start coming together. It's like, come on! A few of them start piling in. And she starts telling this tale. Spinning this myth of this large, scary bridge troll that devours little kids at night, but the only one that can stop them are brave children that wish to face what's before them. One of them chimes in, but what about adults? Can the elders, can they Can they hurt it? No. No, they cannot. They can't actually see it. It's only up to the bravest children. They must fight. Be prepared to fight. They pause for a moment. She says, I can't hear you. If I summon it here, you have to fight. And if you fight, I'll bring back food. One of them chimes in, I'll fight! Yes! Yeah? And someone says, what kind of food? Just whatever is available. Bring breads, fruits. You like apples, right? A few of those. Yeah? Yeah? Hands go, yeah! And then she does some really ridiculous, almost sarcastic flourish of her hands and says some made-up words and then passes it over to you. And when she looks in your direction, she says, I don't know if it worked. Is he there? Anyone? And they just kind of look on. I must have failed. But if he's there, you should get him. Or I'll eat you. And probably the largest of the little kids, the one that chimed in first, the heavy little bastard, that probably eats more than his fill. He steps up and goes, I'm hungry! I'll do it! And he just wades in, just comes at you, and it sends this renewed vigor to the children, and they're like, ah! Just start screaming out, and they hit you. It's like a wave of little kids. How long will you stay here?
As long as it takes to tire them out.
Okay, well, it doesn't take long for the first kid. He doesn't exactly have much of a metabolism or the uncanny ability to last that long when fighting something 3 times his size.
He's like, I cast Fireball into the kids.
I hope not.
Whoa, wait, when did Jacob get involved in this?
Yeah, I'm not Malgrim or Jacob. Calm down.
Dude, Malcolm wouldn't cast on kids. He would
Malgrim would slam on
punch
their
their hearts out of the
floor.
back of their body and then make a necklace out of it.
At least when
What? They
Horum
said
killed
they
the
wanted
kid,
to
he was
play.
trying to save it, and it was the vampire.
He would
was
line
coming
him up and knock him down. He's all, rack him and stack him, boys. He's all, we doing this.
Despite your sheer size and your aptitude for combat, the wave of them, and not being able to use your momentum or your weapon, it's like the goblins all over again. This time, they're not biting you. But they are pulling at the most awkward of places. Like, that one's just
moment.
punching you in the stomach, and a little girl comes up and she grabs onto your leg and she bites you in the leg. Another kid comes up and tries to kick you in the back of the knees to drop you down. One of them hops up and just grabs onto your traps and just trying to get its arm around your neck. And this one evil little bastard just comes up and just blasts you right in the beans, man. Just
As I get kicked in the back of the knees, I'll drop to one knee kind of dramatically and sort of scream, just oh!
Seeing that you're going down, it's just like they're all over you. They mob in at this point. Yeah. And as you go down, and a wave of children seems to pour over the top of you, this snarling, spitting mass of less than 10-year-olds just coming at you.
Turns out they're all vampire children.
You see Fables just kind of wave and turn and walk on. She did say that she was going to get food, after all. So you stay there for a while. Some of them have much more energy. Probably 20, 30 minutes. They'll tire out and step away and then come back. It's like round 2 all over again. But inevitably, you wore them out. They haven't really had much in the way of food anyway, so it doesn't take a whole lot. Some of the parents come up and they're like, thank you. We fought all the guards that left the city. We didn't know that any of them stayed. So, thank you. He's been restless.
No, I'm not exactly a guard, but do what I can.
Oh, you speak very well. Are you a teacher?
Not exactly.
All right. Well, you think you'll come back tomorrow then? Because I might be looking forward to you, and if you'll be around.
I certainly will.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. What should I call you then?
You can call me Rahk.
Rock. Oh, Rock. Rock. All right then. Well, thank you. Thank you. That one right there. And he points to the heftier child, the one that dove in at you first. His name is Chubbs. He's a good boy. Do you actually laugh?
I'm gonna really try to stifle it. There might be a little bit of.
Give me a fortitude. Or actually, it's a will at this point. If you're gonna hold it back, give me a will.
You just see him hold his breath, and his the vein in his forehead starts to pop.
20. Not net.
You okay, sir?
Excuse me. Something in my throat, I believe.
Thanks again. I wish I had something to give you, but if you come back tomorrow, I'll have water for you.
No need, but I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Chops walks up and he's just kind of holding his head. His face is real red. The hair's like sweaty and sticking up in the air, and just. I'm still hungry.
Oh God. I'm just gonna put a hand on his shoulder and kind of reassure him. I'm sure Fables will be back soon with the food.
She could see you. She lied. Oh. I didn't mean to hit you in the privates then.
No. She's a special woman. Only she can see me.
Why was you talking to my dad?
I can make myself appear to those I choose.
Oh. Why are you so nice then if you're a troll? A bridge troll?
Well, you don't survive very long if you're a mean troll. I've been around quite a while.
Oh. Well. Alright then. Will you come back tomorrow? It was fun for a little while. Maybe can you bring a game?
I'll see what I can find.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sorry again about your privates.
That's quite alright.
The dad just kind of like grabs the kid and pulls them in. Sorry.
I'll smash you with my warhammer.
Let's play whack-a-mole.
Do you go to find anybody else?
I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for me.
All right. Do you feel satisfied with the answers you've gotten?
Yeah.
Okay. Ulhime, you're next.
Yeah. I did want to roll back my original idea. I'll probably save what I talked about for like the second to the last day or last. Within that time, I think I would have probably finished writing up that contract that I had you look at.
All right.
Once I have that, I will make my way over to the mayor.
The Lord Mayor. All right. Yeah, he says, thanks so much. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and change the tune then. You're going to go see the Lord Mayor.
Yeah. I'm gonna yell at him like, "Are you not entertained? Is this not what you came for?"
Hey, Dev coming in. Guys, can we get some love for Dev the Devastator with that raid? What's up, Dev and crew? Welcome in, guys. Welcome in, raiders. Show some love, share some emotes. Throw the mimics at them, everybody. Defend. Locations.
Give him all the gold, all the shiny, shiny gold.
That's right.
Good job, Will.
Don't tell him that it's actually braces.
If the shield is able to, can I have it like on my back, like it's slung across my back, like with a strap?
As if you couldn't be more imposing to look at.
I mean, I'm not just gonna.
Yeah, let's go ahead and put the shield that has a screaming face on your back.
Yeah.
Oh shit. My stepdad's here. Can we actually jump over to Sniper for now?
Of course we can.
Hand something.
All right, we can do that. Then I guess we're going to go back to some typical writing music. Yes, we are. Yeah, welcome in Dev and crew. We're doing a little bit of D&D tonight. This is our Saturday night Wednesday night Shackled City. My brain quit there for a moment.
I thought I was bad with dates lately.
I caught myself, thank you, Dick. And we're playing Pathfinder. This is Shackled City, episode 164. Currently, all of our party is separated, but that's okay. That's okay. We're making the most of it. Okay. Sniper.
Bubber.
You've been traveling now for a short time. Oh, I remembered who you spoke to. You didn't make it to Red Gorge.
No, I didn't.
You spoke to the wardens.
That's right.
Yeah, that's who it was. You know that you're about a day and a half to 2 days outside of Red Gorge. A town that seems to be packed, absolutely lined with skilled labor. Many, many talented workers. This place is surrounded by a bastion of sorts. A series of stone pillars. Not quite as impressive as what you might expect out of Cauldron, but effective, nonetheless. Your riding companion, Marion, has been alongside you, appreciating the company. He's allowing you to take the lead for the time being, but he still has some questions about his young squire. And he's hoping for you to tell him anything at all. So,
awesome.
Why are we going again to Red Gorge and not back to the town then that the squire's at? Why not go to Cauldron?
Well, first and foremost, it would be a longer trip to Cauldron than to just get to Red Gorge, and personally speaking, I think you should see some sort of physician sooner rather than later. But that aside, Cauldron's just, Cauldron's just been the victim of a serious attack. Half the city's been burned down. Right now, I'm hitting all of our neighbors to see about seeking some sort of aid. And as it so happens, Red Gorge has the best carpenters and stone workers in the entire area.
I suppose it makes sense, but what reason do you have for it? What do you gain from employing? Do you work for the mayor and his men?
Well, now that you mention it, I suppose I do. I'm the newly dubbed lieutenant of the city guard.
My squire's been wrapped up with the guard. He's grown that much. Is he a guardsman?
No, actually, he's said to be a proper knight. There was a gentleman, Jared Skellering. He was the captain of the guard of Cauldron, and he had intended to knight your lad before too long, though he's since gone missing. That having been said, I do believe that everything was in order, so whether he gets his commission or not is entirely up in the air. given his actions during the attack by the vampire goblins, or would it be goblin vampires? Regardless, during the attack, he comported himself quite well. He'd have done you proud.
You seem so nonchalant about this. What? Why did the goblins attack in the first place? Why are they vampires?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, some adventuring group or other had run into some vampire threat within the city, and they didn't quite clear everything out. So, of course, they managed to get underground and breed like rats. Though, as I understand it, there were a few hags involved, so...
Hags?
I think it... Yes.
Hags?
Reputedly quite ugly.
Goblins that are also vampires? What sort of town do you run? You've no defences outside the walls.
To be fair, I've only just been made the lieutenant of the guard, and honestly, I'm not certain if it's just really poor luck on their end, or if there's some sort of design. I mean, the city is built into a caldera of a volcano, and I heard one story that a dragon actually flew out of it.
And you live there? Does it seem like a bad idea? You live in a volcano.
Well, it's not an active volcano.
Now, it's not an active volcano. What if it happens to be active again?
Well, I would imagine that it would get very warm very fast.
But then you would die. It seems like a bit of an act of God's, right? Then it doesn't seem very safe. We have wards in place or something to stop the volcano from,
That's a little outside of my wheelhouse, my friend. Though I would imagine that their spellmongers are quite capable of ascertaining when something like that is going to happen. Or, well, it could be the various monsters that live in the lake that keep it settled.
Wait, there's a lake? Where's the lake?
The lake is in the caldera.
You have a lake inside of your city that is inside of a volcano.
Very, very poor planning, if you ask me. But I'm not local.
Agreed. It seems just bad.
It seems a little short-sighted, but from what I've been able to tell, it does seem like a pleasant enough type of town.
How long have you been there?
2-3 months.
And how?
Maybe a little longer.
You seem very jaded to these things. You said that there was goblins, goblin vampires. Well, vampires have a. I honestly, I don't really know much about them, but when you said vampires, I expected many of them. Was it like 10 of them?
Oh, no. It had to be.
Oh, great. For like 5 then. That seems to be a bit more fair.
Maybe 500-600.
That seems to be. Wait. What do you mean 500 to 600? 500 to 600 goblin vampires?
Yes, and hags, and I think there were 6 vampire children at last count, and some sort of...
But the children also vampire goblins.
Well, the vampire children are how the goblins became vampires.
I'm not so sure I want to go back to your town.
Honestly, couldn't blame you. I mean, the last fellow I went ahead and told...
And Cort's fine with
this.
this. He's well, and he wants to stay there.
Well, I don't know about him wanting to stay there, but of course he wants to do the right thing and do you proud.
Oh, he's daft. Is he still fainting?
He definitely takes long naps quite often.
Well, I didn't have it easy. I didn't make it easy on him.
Well, I mean, if you'd taken it easy on him, he'd be soft. As it is, he's probably one of the best martial fighters I've ever come across.
Good.
Yeah, and I've come across quite some number, if you don't mind my saying so. And he seems to be rather partial to my paladin friend.
I suppose it makes sense. Paladins have morals, right? They have a bit of a guideline that they tend to stick to.
Oh, he's an incredibly moral fellow. I've tried to go ahead and disabuse him of that for so long, and he's ended up making me a better man instead.
Huh. Well, he retains onto the rein with his hand, and you see him kind of lean. And he's got this weird look about his eyes as you look over. Drops the reins, and then he leans over and scratches. Forget often. I don't know if he'll ever get used to it, but... Well, it's good that he's still doing well. But... What? I don't understand. Why was your city under attack?
As far as why the city was under attack, I think it was just a matter of timing and hunger. I mean, after all, you can't have that many creatures underground starving for blood, and a city just within reach. I tend to think, though, that the hags had something to do with that. I think there were some attempts at control, and if it weren't for the fast actions of men like Cort and my paladin friend and myself, as well as others in the city, we all very well could have easily died.
Good.
But as it so happens, everything that's been going on in the city has been ramping up to a bit of a crescendo, I think. There's definitely...
What's that mean?
Well, it does seem like there's a hand at work behind the scenes. The last several months have been incredibly bad as far as the city goes. There's been sightings of a Glabrizu, a dragon rising out of the city's lake, the vampire attacks. And from what I can ascertain, there's even some corruption in some of the churches. Murders and... Well, there was this one cult, Cult of the Dawnbringers. They were all beheaded recently.
Have you practiced your death wail?
I've had cause and occasion to get close to using it.
You should wrap up everything that you might need to finish before your time of death. I might be a man with one arm, but... Friend, I think you're not long for the grave.
I happen to agree. And...
So why not leave, then? Why stick around in a place like this?
Well, if it hadn't been for my paladin colleague, I'd have done that a long time ago. I've long since learned that survival is the better part of valor. But this dwarf has me convinced that I have to do the right thing. And people are in need. So the right thing is to defend them and, if at all possible, unhand whoever's hand,
Yes.
lop off the hand of whoever's...
It's too soon, all right? It's too soon. Let's not talk about things like that.
Oh, my apologies. I didn't realize the pun.
His eyes avert from you. I think that's it, is it not? Is that right, Gorge? When you look before you, there are the it's the semi-basalt bastion that seems to be woven with stone.
I definitely think that we're getting closer. We could probably go ahead and be there before
You'll be there within the hour.
dusk. Oh, within the hour. Before dusk breaks, at least.
Okay. He still asks a few questions here and there, trying to understand and grasp why anyone would want to stay in the city with whatever a Glaberizo is. He has no idea. This dragon that seemed to leap from the lake, the vampires, the corruption in the churches, the recent beheadings of an entire cult. It doesn't make any sense. And he's never quite ever satisfied. It's probably why he stayed alive for so long, always questioning everything that makes him uncomfortable and seems insensible.
Well, this group makes no sense at all, I can admit that.
The hour comes to a close. Before there's a man atop the gate. Welcome, traveler, to Red Gorge. Have you come to stay with us, and what's your purpose?
My name is Jacob Rivers, and I come from the city of Cauldron. I actually come seeking aid.
You weren't the
Is there-
first, and likely won't be the last. You come to rest with the other lots?
No, I actually happen to be a lieutenant of the guard.
Well, speaks bounds to the fact that the guards even fleeing their town. Raise
Not
the
fleeing.
gates! Raise the gates! The portcullis begins to shift, slowly beginning to rise up. You guards wait at the side. They scale under to see if you have any proof of your bearing.
At which point I bring out the paperwork from Miss Green.
There we go. Whew.
I keep wanting to say Kiana, and I know that's not right.
Kiana? Her name is Kiana.
So it's actually right.
Yes. She's been a pain in your ass for at least 50 sessions. The fact that you can't remember her name, but you remember her name, completely baffles my mind. But
Well,
they'll
no
see
wonder
the
she
paperwork.
hates my guts, right?
They see the seal. You think it's legit. They hand it back to you, and they slap your horse on the ass. Much to their chagrin, there's not much of an ass there. It just moves the tarp. You would see his eyes, but his hand stays there, and his helmet never quite breaks away. He just stands, much like a statue. He's not sure why he just put his hand through the entire ass of a horse. Helmet finally shifts back to the hand, and as it lowers, he looks back to you as you ride into the town. Very confused.
Yeah, if Jacob doesn't go ahead and give it two thoughts. He's just like, no, don't ask questions, don't ask questions, don't ask questions. Rattles, no.
Jesus Christ. Inevitably, you're brought in, and you'll find that there are a few people that you're capable of speaking to. Do you wish to talk to people in charge? Are you trying to hunt down a mayor? What is your goal?
People in charge. And
Okay.
if I remember right, well, no, hold on, that's a whole different character. That wouldn't work.
You're right. It would be an entire different character. Wait, didn't you?
I came towards Red Gorge to collect somebody else, but we didn't make it to Red Gorge. We ended up meeting up at the Citadel.
I thought that you had at least been here when everything went down with Tercival.
Yeah, I was here with Jared.
Ah, that makes more sense. Will you stay the evening in the town?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for all the talks that I need to try and have and, the begging, I'm probably not going to be able to do that before dusk, so
You're right.
no reason not to leave out before dawn. And this gives Marion an opportunity to get a little aid.
Okay.
Make sure that he's not, going to die in the saddle tomorrow.
Sure.
'Cause I really don't need that on my conscience.
Yeah. You'll see to it that he has the proper aid, or at least that he's seen by some sort of cleric Alchemical advisors also say to him they'll provide you with an unguent or an ointment that will need to be applied regularly with clean hands. Also, his trappings will need to be changed. They tell you that you're going to have to do this yourself. He's not going to be able to do it all on his own. That he may live a life that is lame, but at least he'll live a life.
All right, just so long as this unguent doesn't have to go back there, you know. I mean, he's still got one good arm. I'll go ahead and get the spots he can't reach, but
Marion's like, I can wipe my own eyes still.
thank the gods for that. Well, you try and get a bath and some rest, good meal. I'm going to go ahead and see about speaking with whoever's in charge here.
Okay. I'm going to give you the opportunity here. Do you want to just go for an non sequitur turnaround with the very minimal or average aid? Or would you like to try to roleplay and see if you can do it a little bit better here, coaxing more goods for your town?
Oh, of course I'm going to choose roleplay. That's why we're here. You know, that's why we play Pathfinder, so we can roleplay it all out.
Okay.
Let's see what else I can fuck up.
Yeah, this is
going to go well. This is going to be fantastic.
And
before any time he has to roll a dice, he rolls at least 2 ones.
I believe it. I believe it.
Crummy, fuck you.
I can't remember when you guys went to this town. Was it before or after the Copra ruins?
Actually, it was before the Copra ruins because it was on the way. We went through Red Gorge, past Red Gorge to the Copra ruins, ran into Naphtatorin for the first time, and in trying to get back to try and rescue Jared's brother, whose first name does escape me. That's when we went ahead and found out that his brother had been killed by Naphtatorin, who was in Mabu's body.
All right, let's see if I can find this.
And y'all think I got a horrible memory. I do.
100%.
But not really.
Okay, this might actually tell me.
What are you looking for?
Cauldron region. I'm trying to find information on Red Gorge.
Well, I
There's
do know
lots
that
of
the
rocks.
area. Yeah, I do know that the area that we met everybody was in the Redhead Miners Inn.
Yes, I do recall that. I'm just trying to recall a name.
All right. Are we looking for the name of who's in charge?
Yes. I can't remember the page in which it was on, so I'm struggling to find that particular person. I've hit this page so many times, which is a little ridiculous that I'm not hitting it now.
Let's see.
What's up, newbie? What's going on, man?
Well, Alec Turcival was the paladin that we were hunting for here.
Yep.
Let's see.
Okay, we're getting there.
It was the was the person that was in charge of the chisel, the one
Yes.
that introduced us.
I've got it. Speaker of the town, the leader of the chisel, Oleron Masht.
Olderon.
Yes. Oleron Masht is the foreman of the town, the most aged. Locally, he is known as the architect and the mayor. Do you see him that evening?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not going to spend more than the night there.
Okay. Sounds good. And
But yeah, I would inquire, of course, to one of the guards as to where I would be able to find the mayor or whoever happens to be in charge. I would imagine they would go ahead and direct him towards Oleron.
it won't take very long before you're directed to a smith's shop.
You sure that's right?
Mm-hmm.
What was his last name? Oleron what?
Masht. M-A-S-H-T. I have it in the book right in front of me.
Stepping up into the blacksmith's, he'll, Jacob will kind of lean in and knock at one of the frames. Master Oleron?
Man stands. Not him. You wish to see him?
Yes, if he's available.
I should be just inside. Step in the door. He's working with my son right now.
Thank you. And he'll go ahead and scrape his boots before stepping inside.
When you move inside, you'll see that there is a younger man, probably about 15, 16 years old. He is opposite the individual that fits the description of Oleron Masht. The older foreman, who moves with a very stern and taut back, his hands behind him, almost like they're crossing. Very well kempt beard, gray. He's not got a lot on the top, though. He's rocking that sort of like horseshoe pattern hair. Blue robes with red lining and a red belt. Brown leather sandals. Tells the boy, "We'll need 6,000 nails. I know this will keep your father busy for a while, but we're happy to pay. You know this much." "Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we can make it so. Is there anything else you need, Mr. Masht?" "Have your father send over one of your mother's rhubarb pies. You know how much we care for it in our house." "Yes, sir. I don't think he's going to charge you anything for that." "Nonsense, I'll be paying for it." Seems to break what looks to be some sort of small purse off to the side, and he starts tethering out bits of gold, just letting it drop to the table. He counts very quickly. Even in his old age, he's used to shoveling like money out in front of himself. The boy makes sure that everything stays up to snuff. He's watching him count when he notices you. Hello, sir. Welcome. We are the Red Gorge Blacksmith, and is there something that I can help you with? Do you need anything reworked? Do you find yourself desiring to fight monsters?
Easy, lad. I have actually just gotten back from doing just that. I'm actually looking to speak with Master Masht. But finish your business first.
You hear a as the man like kind of turns, but his hands never stop moving, and he's still just like shoveling out the he's still counting out the numbers. Finally reaches like 50, and the boy says, I'm sorry, Oleron. I didn't go with you. I trust you. And he's, goodbye. He turns. Go up the paperwork. Send it over. Send it with a pie. It's Masht. He looks to you. His eyes kind of squint for a moment. "Never met you before. I don't know you. Never seen your people before."
Indeed, which is why I come bearing a message. At which point he'll go ahead and offer his paperwork and then turn around gesturing outside. You seem like a man who likes to walk and talk.
I do. Time is of the essence, and at my age, you don't have much of it left.
Well, I'm not here to take too much of it. And at that point, he'll go ahead and step out and wait for Oleron, at which point he'll kind of fall into step. As it would happen, I'm coming from the city of Cauldron to the south. We've just suffered an attack by a horde of vampires. Though not your classical example, it seems like there was some kind of intermingling with a goblin horde. Regardless, this city is in dire need of assistance, and it was pressed upon me by the new captain of the guard to make the rounds and see about requests for aid. I've just come from the Citadel, and I'm hoping that we can perhaps borrow or make some kind of contract for some of your carpenters and stonemasons.
He pauses for a moment to read over the information, pondering the things that you've said. We've had no cult of banners. We've had nothing of the sort. Does the city still stand?
Half of it does.
Good. And what help do they need of us?
Any help you'd be willing to give. The granaries were fired in the burning, and, well, as you can imagine, the body count's quite high. Half the city did burn down.
That's unfortunate. I wish it hadn't been the case.
As do we all. And I appreciate that we are coming begging. We are not looking to go ahead and just ask for handouts.
But is that not what you're doing anyway?
We're asking for aid, yes. But to my understanding, I do believe that the mayor is going, the mayor of the city is planning to go ahead and reimburse.
Oh, reimburse. Did the mayor think about this? Or say anything at all regarding that time that he sent an army to my walls? That was rather recent. If you've been in town and for any length of time, you would remember this.
As it would so happen, I've not been in Cauldron for overly long, though I do remember the march of the half-orc guard under the control of a Blue Duke not too long ago.
You must imagine how it made my people feel to see an army of half-orc men just outside of our walls, threatening the lives of the people of this town if we did not surrender a single individual.
The single individual must have been of some import.
There are better ways to handle a situation so delicate, wouldn't you say? The retrieval of one man could have been done with 3 or 4. With an army? Don't you think that is a bit much?
Heavy-handed, to say the least.
But now they call for our aid. They wish for us to restock their granaries.
We're asking for help. Now, should past enmities keep you from doing so, I can certainly understand your position.
What guarantees do you offer the people of this town, as we have taken on many of yours who've left? I'm sure if you've ever been to Red Gorge, you would understand that it is primarily a working town. But now, as you can see, there are many around who are new. There are many that are not so laborious. They sit, waiting to hear of their town's revival. We've seen and received no aid for those that left your town.
As to that, I really can't answer. I've only been in this position for a few days, a week. At a stretch. All I can say for certain is that your neighbors to the south have been greatly wounded, injured, and now may be a good time to go ahead and offer the olive branch, so to speak. Or if nothing else, send an envoy or two to go ahead and speak with the mayor and start some kind of negotiation for aid.
Then I'm interested. What is the olive branch? As all that you have sent us is an army declaring what's theirs, and then you sent your refugees, asylum seekers, and migrants. They came with nothing but fear in their hearts. And now you come to me, declaring that you wish for food, for protection. I'm not one to turn a blind eye to those in need, but there is a saying that I was raised on, and it's never to bite the hand that feeds. There's a certain irony in this. Wouldn't you expect Mr.
Rivers.
Rivers?
The only quote I can think of to counter that would be, in the world of an eye for an eye, all men are blind. I'm not saying that the city of Cauldron deserves aid, or at least certainly doesn't deserve it out of hand. I would go ahead and entreat you to investigate further, send envoys, ambassadors. I'm but the messenger here, but I can say that as of this moment, hundreds of people are suffering, wounded, soon to be starving.
My empathy is out for you, but I will speak with my council. One of them is actually from your town, and if they are in good relation and rapport with you, Lieutenant in Command, then we'll see if it's actually deserving.
I'm more than willing to offer what little I can in at least explaining the situation of the city.
Let's see to the Red-Headed Miner's Inn. One of yours was there. You can't miss him. He probably won't miss much of you.
I am somewhat hard to miss. And he'll just kind of gesture to the blue hair and so forth.
Okay. Will he be off?
He is going to offer the mayor a hand. It was a pleasure making the acquaintance, Master Mast. I hope you have yourself a good day and enjoy your pie.
He gives you a curt nod and a single shake, and then he turns. Very cold.
Pragmatic. Man's got business on his mind. But yeah, then Jacob will head on to the Red-Headed Miner.
Okay. When you arrive, you appear at the miners, and there are a lot of people here. A fair amount of them. A lot of them drinking heavily. Some of them you may have seen originally from Cauldron. Some of them owners. You recognize, at first, one. Give me perception. You recognize two.
Oh.
The first person you see, that you may guess in council, Mavu. Mavu operates. He seems to be working over some plans, a ledger book. He's making tallies, looking at checks. He has a single individual sitting next to him that seems to be corroborating various numbers. You can't really hear much, you can just see their mouths move. The second person you can see, Sun.
Well, I'll be damned.
Doesn't recognize you. For reasons. Not that he would immediately recognize you now.
True, and I'm not about to go ahead and whip that mask off in the middle of middle of an inn. But he will kind of walk up with a bit of a grin. Son, how are you? And he'll offer a hand. You probably don't recognize me. I've gone ahead and pulled a bit of a Klaus. It's Jakob.
He blinks several times. His left eye twitches.
I know that look.
And the first word that he could mutter is, "No. No."
Yes.
Why?
Reasons.
You looked bad the last time I saw you, but not this. What even are you?
That's a very...
No! Why are you here?
For that's a lot easier to unpack.
Wait. Hold on. He just continues to drink down whatever he has at this point. Drops it to the counter and wipes his face. No. And then he walks out.
Son! Oh, come on, don't be like that.
The guy next to you that was sitting down next to him, he goes, my son doesn't talk to me either. Little bastards, they don't respect anyone. You don't look like his dad, though. He looks older than you.
He takes after his mother.
You want a drink?
I'd love a drink, but first I do have to conduct some business. So, check?
All right. You look weird. Where are you from? There isn't even any wind here, and your hair's flowing.
Well, maybe I was born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. And he'll pat the drunk shoulder and walk off towards Mavu.
As you walk away, he just looks to the bartender. What the fuck is Maybelline? Who's Maybelline? Did it make my hair look that good? Get him a drink. He's gonna tell me things. Then he moved back over.
Sniper.
And we're actually gonna pass over this time. You'll get to talk to him next time. I want to give some time to Ronald. It was dictated that he has to go last.
By all means.
Ronaldo.
I spend the next 6 days
In a
doing
wind
nothing
tunnel.
but sleep.
I fucking knew it.
Ronaldo Cusaveri.
Yes.
Rodriguez Martino.
Spends the next 6 days in Le Wind Tunnel. All right, sir. Floor's yours.
On my way to Mavu's with the contract signing for the guild in hand.
Okay. You wish to see Lady Mavu.
No, I'm sorry, not Mavu. Sevron.
You can just say the mayor.
Novelant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's
The
fine.
mayor.
That's fine. No worries. All right, so you wish to see the mayor. Not a problem.
Yeah.
Easy enough. You've been in and out of this place before.
Yeah.
A few of the guards ask your purpose, but eventually when you make it into the doors, you'll be led upstairs by another guard. He recognizes you. Before you make it to the top, he says, I don't think you make it back. I thought he was going to tell us to kill you. Or at least have you arrested.
It's a love-hate thing right now.
That's weird.
It is, but I have nothing really witty to say about it. Can you let me in?
All right. I didn't ask for wit. Nor did I ask for your cynicism. He opens the door. And there he sits. Hand on his head. Busy into some paperwork.
Flame strike. I'm just kidding.
His eyes avert up briefly. Ulhime, to what do I owe this?
Closes the door.
Oh, we're not
assuming you
going
already
to
know
do
what's
this
coming.
again.
Starts walking toward him, and then just places the paper on the desk.
I have more important things to do than to watch you at all times. You must understand that this town has just gone through a catastrophe.
You act like I wasn't there to witness it.
Then what makes you think that I have the time to watch you dally all day long?
Here, and then he kind of slides the paper, puts like 2 fingers on front of the scroll, and slides it toward.
Let's see. He grabs this paper from the desk, he unfolds it, and he begins to peer at the text. Definitely on the wrong browser. Bam.
Pornhub.
Definitely not Pornhub.
Sex hamster.
You gotta remember, he's a man of style and distinction. It's X-Hamster all day.
Thanks, guys, for establishing a level of distinction in my...
Remember
Mayor.
the danger letters to type while you're on stream. X, P, and Y. You just have to be very close.
Yep. He looks down. Order of the Shield and Soul Guild Pact. That's cute. Did you come up with that yourself?
Yes.
Speaks heavily to you. What do the others think of this?
They approved of it,
Oh,
which is why I'm here.
very good. Well, let's continue. This contract is a legal standing of the Order of Shield and Soul Guild. At terms that are outlined in the following sections will be stated, and any breach of contract can be subject to the laws of Cauldron or any law of the land, and that guild member is currently in at the time of the crime or infraction. Did you pen this yourself?
Yes.
Interesting. As a member of the Guild of Shield and Soul, all members will be held to the laws of the land for which the guild is established. Breaking of these laws will result in immediate termination, and all belongings held with the guild property will be forfeit to the guild. Here are the terms as follows. 1. All members will be required to pay 3% of their total profits to the guild treasury for renting the area they are using for labor and trade post each month. Trade post? Where have you established a trade post?
Just keep reading.
Very well. However, negotiations can be met with if situations arise that inhibit or prevent the signer from doing so. Oh, look at you, such a softie. Members of must list. Members of must... I feel like you're... I'll continue. Must list themselves in the city's records of citizens and workers of the city that they are in. This must be done within the first 15 days of joining. Semicolon. Interesting. Failure to do so will result in a hold or denial of joining the guild until copies of those records are shown and are cleared by a guard captain and mayor or royalty of the land. Any fine or infractions from the other towns, cities, villages, etc. must be served or paid before joining. Guild board assignments, bounties, and tasks that are taken into representation of the guild are taxed at 1% to the treasury. All members will be given paperwork to show proof of proficiency and official sign-off to ensure tasks are being finished to the liking of the client. Oh, 2 pages, wow. You were thorough. Members of the bounty or traveling charter of the guild are required to make last rites and a one-time payment of 5 gold for funeral expenses in the event that they are met with a sudden loss of life. You're making them... It's fine. Seems a bit steep. I'll continue. Any personal accommodations or rewards outside the scope of assignment given, i.e. tips from the clients or other items or goods, are not subject to guild tax or any other form of payment from the guild. Very good. Very good. All right. To apply for a promotion, each member is required to have 3 of the officers the guild approve on sign-off forms before meeting with Guildmaster for final approval. As above, these are the current rules for becoming a member of the Guild of Shield and Soul. While these rules of the contract are binding to each member, they must be subject to change if found necessary to do so, but not without first being informed of such changes to the terms, where a resigning of the charter will be required of each member with 5 days of being notified of such changes. Another semicolon. Proud of you. Very good. Failure to do so will result in the hold of guild assets and assignments until the new charter is signed. Thank you for taking the time to read this contract to the guild. Should the signer have any questions in regards to the standing of the contract, an officer or guildmaster will go over any information that they may have about the questions asked. Signed, Ulhime Shieldbearer, Guildmaster. Guildmaster, I find that to be the most interesting part of this. What are the others in your ragtag bunch? Are they also guildmasters?
They would be the officers.
Officers. So you wish to have dominion and control over this area that is the bathhouse?
Correct.
And these officers will all have equal parts control?
Correct.
Why have they not signed off on this?
Each one will be required to sign one individually.
If this is your formal statement, an application of sorts, to the mayor and the mayor's office, each of them must be present upon signing, and I must witness their signatures. On top of that, there will be a stipend that is required and applied to your guild. You'll be operating inside of this city under the forays of the guard. Our services will be used regularly, even if you have your own men. You must be protected and ensured that safety is brought to your establishment as well. Surely you can think you're the biggest fish in the pond.
No.
No worries.
I've already seen that there are much bigger things than fish inside Cauldron already.
He puts the paper down.
Ulhime walks over to the fireplace, and he wasn't really like the whole time he was reading, he kind of just looks around the room, but he walks over to the fireplace and kind of stands where he did the scrying spell.
He puts down the paper. It's fairly well written. But I must say, you have a certain chip on your shoulder with me. I can't say that I don't understand. Your kind and my kind are not meant to interact. But the tales of my kin are not like me. And now you find yourself here in my office, once where you tried to kill me, or at least have me step down in shackles. And you found that I was quite capable of defending myself. But I didn't bring a fight to you. You came to me. Surely, you must not believe that I am merely an existing threat to you and to yours.
It seems like it. Obviously, from where I stand, you wish to impose hardships upon people who already have nothing. And he kind of pulls out another paper showing the Helm's tax paper. And he kind of flings it over to the desk again. And you would still take from those who have nothing.
You say you, as if I am the only one that has any say in this town. You must understand, Ulhime, that while I be the mayor, I am at times but a figurehead, that there are many that work in council. A closet of sorts of those that establish what can and cannot happen. Yes, they need my signature for approval. But if it all aligns, and I sign off on it, then it has been best agreed that it is valuable to the town and the townspeople. Hells, while we're at it. If they had it their way, they would never pay taxes. They would never pay for repairs on buildings. They wouldn't pay for food. There would be fighting in the streets.
I'm not a fool, Mayor. I understand how these things work.
Then why do you simply hold me accountable for the actions of the many that proposed this?
Then name the many. Who is it that you answer to, if you're just a figurehead?
If I named the many, then you would certainly show upon their doorstep the same way you showed up at mine, where you would threaten to evacuate them from their position, or come in shackles. Wouldn't that make you a bit of a vigilante, a renegade of sorts? If you can't even abide by the law that you find to be trivial and you regularly break it, what value are you to the people of this city? You see me as some sort of villain. I understand that what I do isn't comfortable for everyone, and you see me to be far above. I've signed so many papers today, Ulhime, to guarantee that the people of this town have food ushered in, and if I wasn't here, the next mayor would be just as bad. But not a beholder. There's longevity in my reproach. You must understand. Men come and go. They die quickly. But I am timeless. I reach an age, in a body, a look. And I retire that look, that image. And the mayor is born new again. A different name. A foreign figure. But it's been me. The last 200 years. There's something you have to swallow, Ulhime Shieldbearer. I don't have to sign off on this whatsoever. And that might make me a bad guy. It might make me villainous, or counterproductive to your success. But I can sign on it. And likely will. Because you have no reason to believe, no reason to know, that I am actually a bad guy. I oppose a tax on the people. We need that tax more now than ever. People are going without food. We have to requisition, and yes, I've sent your ally Jakob, with the discourse of Kiana Green, the new captain in command of the guard, outside of the city to seek aid from Red Gorge and Sassarine. My kin would have taken advantage of the situation and eaten or vested ritual in all of those that couldn't defend themselves at this point. Yet I can walk through the streets, unscathed, thanked, welcomed in the homes of the many. How often do those that you wish to protect invite you in for dinner, Ulhime?
I don't ask them, so I wouldn't know. And I don't make it a point to be involved in their lives as such.
Maybe you should. There's vast opinions of you in this town. Some of them not so pretty. Some of them very high. And I admire those people.
Neither one matters to me, just their safety.
Then what gall do you have for coming to attack me in my abode? Now, you ask for assistance. You need permission. Isn't this ironic? Later, we'll meet at a bar and chuckle about this. I know we will.
Bit of a learning curve from someone I've already talked to. You see, and he kind of lifts up his gauntlet and starts letting it glow. Protection is it's what I follow. Judgment and retribution, and he lifts up the other skeletal hand, belongs to another, neither of which are me. So allow me to apologize for the first attack on you. But that doesn't mean I don't believe I'm wrong about what your intentions are.
Let's be real for a moment. Let's drop the facade. No longer a mayor, no longer a proposed guildmaster. If you thought that you could kill me right now, you would try. Because I do see everything and I see the truth in you, and what I see more now than ever. Despite your religious backing, you have lost your way. And you're drawing at straws, at scraps, to find everything that you are, calling yourself a protector of the people. Yet you're damning them by attempting to defeat the only thing that's keeping them safe. So you may not be wrong. It's up to you to determine. History repeats itself very well. And you're not the first, nor will you be the last. And each one that passes through only makes me stronger. I will live long after you. And I will take care of this town and make the decisions that need to be made. And the people may not always be happy about it. But we still get to have the solstice and parade. People drink in merriment. And I party like my friends in the streets. I also drink and I throw the darts. And I knock over bottles. You can think me a beast for how I was born. For the eye stalks that stick from my body. For the teeth that decorate my maw. But the only monster I see in this room is you. Find yourself. Speak to your allies. And don't talk to me until then. He folds it up nice and neatly. Take this.
Walks over and grabs the paper. There was another reason I had come here, though I doubt your willingness to do so would... Well, I don't think that you're willing to, just for the simple lack of trust. But there is something that needs to be dealt with that your skill set might be able to come in handy with.
I'm listening.
There were two figures on one of the first nights that we came into the bathhouse, me and Jakob. Two of those figures that are gone. From what I've been told, if everyone and everything inside that bathhouse was a vampire before, then the two that were in there might be a cause of it. They're the only two that are gone. The other one, by the name of Malgrim, is still here, but he walks out during the day.
Yes, I've seen to this. You speak of the Stonehavens.
I do not know them by name.
Ulrich Stonehaven was the previous owner of the bathhouse, and for all intents and purposes a good man. Dwarf, excuse me. From where I'm from, we call you all men. Ulrich was a good man, and his brother, Zodin, was a good mercenary. But I'm afraid that... something darker twisted their minds and turned them into what you called a vampire. This one, Malgrim...
And what about the other one?
Malgrim is not. I've been studying exactly what he is, and he's changed. He was a hobgoblin, yes. Green skin type.
He wasn't the one I was referring to. The other one looked very similar to the Stonehavens and myself, but his face was dried, green, black eyes.
Out of game?
Almost very...
I don't know who you're talking about.
Casmogen.
Oh.
He was the other one in the bathtub. It was those three.
No, it wasn't. It was the two dwarves.
Oh, it was both Stonehavens?
It was both Stonehavens, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought it was, when you first described it, I thought it was the Casmogen.
No.
But yeah, okay. We'll rewind it back then. So then if he's not a threat, then there's nothing to do with him then.
I've lost sight of the brothers, Stonehaven.
I might know where they're at, but my party's a bit dispersed at the moment.
You should gather them.
Which is why I'm...
Soon. I have reason to believe that a force...
I think we have it. We do not have the time for it.
I have reason to believe that another force is coming to the city.
That I'm aware of. 2, to be specific.
Malgrim should be an ally. I've always been told that changing will shift the morals of a man, will change whom they are internally. But now he seems different from what I've seen.
In what manner?
He's no longer a vampire. He is more than a man. They're not too common. It's something I've read about in passing. An archive I wrote of a race of man touched by the undead, but not fully changed. He called them Dhampir. Though I have no proof of this, as I've never encountered any myself. I believe Malgrim to be this. He walks somewhere between worlds, the light and the dark. Though he seems to forget much of his past. He's probably an ally.
Gives him a nod. And then he tucks the guild charter into his like his coat shirt kind of thing, and then pulls out another one, which is the blueprints to the bathhouse, and then the underworkings, which I'll probably do sometime later, but the pathway that we talked about, how that would be reconstructed and showing the reworked version of it. Completely written in Dwarven for this one, but he unfolds it and it's like a pretty big map.
You can read it.
This is the final design of what I intend to work on. If
this is going to take time.
Time I already know. I already have the funds for the first portion, the top. I've already invested 1,000 gold into the top portion. Everything else will be worked on later on. And I have an idea of how to get more people back into the town.
Speak to me more when you have discussed with those of the bathhouse. When they all come to sign, we can talk. And if you have told them of what I really am, it'll be dealt with then. If you have not, then we may still have business.
They might have an inkling. But even then, just like everyone else, they cannot judge you for what you are exactly. At least not at the moment. And as for now, I'll play nice. And just like as you have 200 years to live, or have lived, and might have another 200 more, so do I.
Yet to be seen for either of us.
True. Eternity doesn't always mean forever.
Good day, Ulhime. I have paperwork to tend to.
Gives him a nod. I'll be heading into the bottom of the bathhouse. You should keep an eye out, in case anything tries to run out. I want to see what's lying beneath.
Very funny, Ulhime. Very funny. I always have my eyes out.
That was more serious and
I know.
Cynical. Gives him a nod and then just gives a bow, Mayor, and then begins his walk out. He leaves the blueprint though, because kind of like most building code, you kind of need an original copy of, I guess, like official, So he leaves that with them.
Okay.
And Ulhime will make his way to back to the bathhouse, but heading down to where the Void Dragon was to start doing inspection.
First, you exit the mayor's residence. You are let out, and you are greeted with looks of displeasure. They know who you are.
Yeah.
There was suspect reasons of what you tried to do. They know that you are more than a man, and magic is within you, and it explains why the wall was frozen or stoned. They can't quite recall. As you exit the gates, the men stand, lining up. Across the street, there's a boy, one you've never seen before. He watches you. Takes a moment, but he does this, nodding back. Then a hand comes up.
I want to do a perception check to see if there's anyone else. Just want to make sure I'm not being followed by any. 29.
Sure.
So as I'm walking, I'll start kind of doing that gaze.
You're watching.
Sure, there's no one.
You can't really make much sense of it. I mean, it's between some buildings, and it moves off into like a little grove. You do think, even if for only briefly a moment, the boy, while he waved to you with his hand, you thought that you saw some threads attached to his body.
Cast detect magic as I'm making my way over. Then.
Are you looking specifically at him?
Wherever I might have saw those threads.
Okay. As you watch, you peer within the arcane spectrum, and you begin making your way to the alley, onto the grove, and you can see the lines, the tethers, the markings, magic woven into each of them. Sightless to a normal man. Sharp vision would see this, but not quite the magic to it. An integral weave of one both magic and thread alike. It seems to create almost this spider-like pattern. And as the boy passes through, each of the threads seemingly part and close nebulously so.
Just before getting into the alley, I would cast this spell magic on him.
Okay. You cast a spell magic, and a single thread breaks. You see a shimmer, and then a bit of thread fall to the ground.
I'm gonna stop, and I'm just gonna walk away. Not even gonna fucking...
As you begin to back up, the boy turns and waits, and you notice that his eyes never blink, his mouth never moves, and then a woman peers behind him. Ulhime! Don't be shy. Come on! Come along. Be quick, I have to fetch food.
Another time. I'm not going to be goaded into an alley. Not today.
Well, I can't do business on the streets, you dumb boy. Come here, or might you not know what to do with this? And she's holding Thelsa's athame. If not, I can keep this if you have no interest. No? Fine.
You're not gonna goad me.
What do you think is going to happen?
About you already.
Come on.
I don't know.
Come along. They're not going to hurt you. Well, move. Just try. Put your hand in. Put that dark one. That's one that looks like an iron bar that's used to twist fire.
Nah, Ulhime's gonna walk away. He's not gonna go into the alley.
Okay.
Yeah, he backs up and then keeps as he's walking. He's just gonna try to keep a shoulder over him. Stay in the open areas now.
Keeping your head turned, staying in the open area, you feel 3 fingers in your chest and a thumb at the center of your chest. An old man. Probably late 50s, early 60s. Wouldn't you say that's very rude? When a lady asks for your attention, you simply can't turn her down, even if it's for only a brief audience.
Who are you?
Who I am is less important than who I can be. Walk, and this will be pleasant for all of us. Turn and try to face me. And meat will be back on the menu, though I'm not sure many of them will be interested in eating you. Your arms will be left, of course. They're not fleshy. So, what do you say? Humor me.
Very well.
He walks so comfortably and assured. Give me a perception, Ulhime. Very good. His hand seems to fall to his side, and you notice that it's perpetually stuck in snap. It seems to hang at his side, but it never quite moves. And he walks in front of you. Comfortably so. Not even remotely fearing you. And as he gets about 5 or so feet away, you feel your right foot step, without you even guiding it forward. And then your left foot is lurched forward. Don't make me pull you. Just come along, it will be fine.
Oh, I was already walking with them.
Okay. You walk into the alley, and sure enough, even with your magical spectrum on, it moves. It parts, like the Red Sea. But as you pass through it, it returns back to prevent anything from coming through. Fables stands at the end of the alley. She's sitting with a boy, and for one reason or another, she's playing with his jaw. She's dawdling it up and down, making him talk. Oh, look, Mr. Ulhime decided to come back and spend time with us. The old man says, stop it. He may be gone, but he's still my grandson.
What happened to him?
You don't know?
I wouldn't be asking the question if that was the case.
Well, Jakob happened to him. And the man turns, and his very stern, neutral face becomes begrudging and gaunt. Very, very terse lips. Just, it's not a happy face.
How long ago did this happen?
The fire. He didn't say anything. He didn't say he had an accident. The man says, I was there. The fires took our home. The banister broke and killed my daughter. And then he killed my grandson. He swore he was doing well.
As he's talking, Ulhime, not that he's ignoring him, he's still listening to him, but he walks over to the boy and he starts examining, like, the body to make sure there's nothing that's been altered.
Sure.
You kind of see him squeeze the hand. He kind of pushes the chest in.
Sure.
At one point, you see him open the mouth, and he kind of looks inside.
Yeah. Before you can get too far, he says, right lung, under the rib. Look. Give me a heal check. You see a mark that's been cut plainly across the underside of the rib. The rib, a few of the ribs seem to be cracked, but not broken entirely, just cracked.
There's cracks along these 6 right here. The center chest is indented, and this incision looks, I don't want to say surgical, but someone was trying to use precision, but it didn't work out too well. What happened?
My grandson suffers from a very rare condition where he would break his bones doing next to nothing. He wasn't allowed to play with anyone. He was not allowed to have anyone over. I was his only friend. And I had aimed to see that he reach adulthood, so that he may make his own decisions. Jacob hit him in the chest. He was not closed fist.
So what? Push him out of something to push him into something? You need to give me details as to what happened.
Jacob lifted me over his back, began to walk out of the building. My grandson wanted his mother and his grandfather to be okay, and instead of simply stopping him, he hit him in the chest. He said that he collapsed his lung and that he attempted to fix it, of which he cut beneath his rib and shoved his hand inside of him. I don't understand to know his methods, but I understand that he's a bit of a menace, and I am aiming to return the favor.
You plan on killing me? He kind of looks back at him with his eye.
No.
Here.
No, I do not. No. Your dossier seems that you've done many good things, and you've done many bad things. A necessary evil of sorts. Well, this is lovely and all, and I honestly don't care. Again, as I said, I have to bring food. There are children that are in need, and I aim to please. So, I have something that has been given to me to give to you. She stands, and she passes the weapon over to you.
I destroy it. I step on it, and I put it against the curb, and I step on it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'll take it.
I don't know what you'll do with it, but I was told that it was time. That this would be a gift to you, that you would appreciate what it meant. Oh,
I'm gonna take it with my skeletal hand.
The
juju on it don't feel too good.
I was also informed to tell you that Thelsa will be roving to the demon scar eventually. Sooner before later, of course. She has an army to control. See, we have a friend, a mutual friend, her and I. And I've known this friend much longer. His name is Philip. I call him Phil. He wishes to be called Phil. Technically, his name is Phistopheles. And he trades info with me if I trade info with him. Though, I think that he has a thing for me. Because he could just get it all on his own. He doesn't need me, but something about me is alluring to him. So, alas, Phil has told me as to why your friend Thelsa looks the way she does.
I see. But
she bartered her soul. She traded her soul to a demon. Not just any demon, not even a demon, a devil. He's a devil, right? I don't know. A devil, then. He carries contracts. And he makes everyone sign in blood, and Thelsa lost her soul. But in turn.
So she sold her soul to gain power.
Yes, not just any power, but to be strong enough to defeat Nathatoran. So she claims second of command of the Demon Scar, and when
But he's still first in command, isn't he? So that wouldn't have given her the power.
No, he's not. Let's just say he clipped his wings. And he's fallen far from the grace of the demon scar.
Who do you work for? Both of you. Just so I have an idea of who I'm dealing with, other than some red-haired woman and a grieving grandfather.
My name is Fables. I'm not some red-haired harlot. Woman just...
I didn't call you a harlot. I don't know your professions outside of the charity work that you've been seen doing.
He chimes in. We work for the people. Those that need us to keep those above us in line and remind them that they are weak and fallible and they bleed the same blood that we do.
So you claim to be strong.
Strong? Not all of us, but
Are
we
you
are.
Resourceful?
Of course we are.
Then I might be able to save this boy right here. Depending on how resourceful you are.
You're a powerful cleric. It was said that you prayed, and I'd never seen the deity before.
You have. But his domain, my domain, is locked away. But as I said, if you're resourceful, I can help him. I just need to know how resourceful you are. And if he's worth saving for you.
We can talk about that next time. I'm gonna end the session right there.
No problem.
It's starting to get late, and I know that people are eager to take a break. I'm pretty sure that Will goes to the hallway to do at least 10 jumping jacks every time he stands up.
Does 10 squats. Look at that booty.
But that's going to be...
slap myself in the face.
That's going to be
repeatedly.
it for us tonight. I'm going to go ahead and end us there, and we'll pick back up next week.
Yay.
I hope you
I can
guys
play nice.
had a good time.
Yeah.
I think tonight actually went real well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it did
I don't
too.
know how to feel about what happened with my character.
Why?
Why?
'Cause,
You're not the one that's about to be absolutely fucked when he gets home.
I mean, that's good. As long as I'm not the one who's being nailed to the cross, I'm okay with that. I just have to decide if I'm still your friend. Because I'm gonna have to either fight him or just let him kill you, and I'm cool with either or personally. Leaning on the letting you kill him, or letting him kill you. That sounds like it would be easier.
So I'm going to go ahead and call us here, and I want to get into the Discord just because I want to pick the brains of some of the people that are lurking tonight. And I do know that there is a fair amount of people that are lurking this game. Phelan has said that the series gets more amazing all the time. I will say that the last probably 15 or so sessions have been very off the rail. We are still in line for primary content, but we are still solving personal conflict. So, soon we will be returning to the primary content, but not first without resolving some of these events. So if you have things you'd like to say, or maybe you'd like to find out a bit more, you can always post questions in the Discord. If you don't know how to get there, which I'm assuming that all of you do, check it out. There's the Discord right there. Go do the damn thing. Hop on over. Perhaps you want to consider supporting at all. There's Patreon. And last but not least, just check out all the social stuff. I'm all over the place. We're going to get out of here for tonight. I love you guys. Have a good one. Take it easy. We'll talk to you tomorrow with whatever it is that we're doing. Peace. We're out of here.